All right, Josh here with On the Wrong Lead. I'm here with Mark, aka Pack Rat, on Discord, and we're gonna talk through some mistakes that new people tend to make. Top five mistakes to avoid when betting horses. Stuff we wish we knew, or for some of us, mostly me, that we did now. Although I know that I believe all of us get a couple drinks in us and fall prey to all of these. But we're just going to talk through a couple of common mistakes that people tend to fall into and kind of how to avoid them. So let's just jump right into it, Mark. Number one, playing too many tracks. And I'll tell you right now, I'll probably relate to most of these since I've only been playing horses for a couple of years now. And yeah, when I first started playing, man, I didn't care what night it was, Mountaineer, Charlestown, whatever. I was playing anything that was running.
Yeah, I think, as a new player, find a circuit that you like and that you can play all the time and really learn it. Good ones, good options are something like Naira. You have Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, running almost all year round. If you're a California person, you have the Del Mar, Santa Anita, Golden Gate, and the entire fair scene. Or if you're a Midwest person, you can target places like Woodbine, Churchill Downs, Oak Lawn, some of the tracks, that are in the Midwest, and you can find these circuits where, geez, I've seen these horses run three or four times. I know the horses, I know the trainers, I know all the connections, and I understand the tracks. If you're trying to play five tracks a night, you're just going to get yourself into a mess. Find one track, learn it real well, or learn a circuit real well. And don't get too spready. You're really target in those opinions and find a circuit you like.
I thought you were going to say don't get too cute, since that seems to be the downfall of many of us. Yeah, I mean, I think a good example is our friend Papo. You can catch him on the Shake Up. I literally think the man only plays two tracks. I think he plays Gulfstream and Turfway Park. And like he'll jump around for big days, which is what I kind of put here. Playing one or two tracks to start is, or more than one or two tracks is a bad idea. Try to focus on one circuit and only jump around for big days. Like, look, if you don't play Churchill Downs normally, but Kentucky Derby Day comes around, like, yes, play it. Maybe even play the couple days leading up to it. Like, that's fine. But if you're going to be somebody who plays every weekend, or if you're going to be someone who plays, 3 days a week or whatever, like it's best if you focus your knowledge and focus your bankroll on places that you feel comfortable with and you have an advantage at.
Completely agree. Yeah. And I think Papo's a perfect example. He's somebody who he knows Gulfstream, gets that place. It's a track that I am terrible at, but man, he gets it. He understands all the biases, he understands all the connections, and the guy does phenomenal there. And instead of, oh hey, I could go play the sexy summer tracks and chase Saratoga, chase Del Mar, the kind of, no, he'll play Gulfstream all summer because he knows the place and he does well there. And he gets the biases, he gets all the trainers, all the angles. That's what you should be doing.
All right, let's move on. The next one we have is playing too complicated. And we pretty much mean playing those complicated bets, pick four, pick five, pick six, trifectas, superfectas. I mean, these are bets that are hard to hit as a new player. I mean, it's hard to hit for an experienced player. And I see it all the time. In the Discord, you get someone who comes in and they are like, "Hey, I just started playing the horses, a week ago. Here's my pick six ticket." And you're just like, "What the hell?" like, uh, yeah. I mean, I think that my general rule of thumb is to, to stick with win, exacta, and doubles to start. And I mean, even doubles, um, I mean, if you can't hit a win bet, you can't hit a double. So, start with win, move a little bit into the exacta or in double pool, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I completely agree. We see so many people that come in and they say, "Oh, I see there's this jackpot carryover of, $2 million at this track, and I want to play that." And you're like, "Whoa, whoa." There are a lot of people who've been doing this for, 20, 30 years who are chasing those types of pots, and they're really good at them. And the chances of you being smarter than them is basically zero. And I have a hard time hitting pick fives, and I've been playing horses for over 20 years. So find, there's nothing wrong with hitting win bets and, finding angles and playing very small while you learn. And also, you can make quite a lot of money in the win pools because everybody these days wants to hit those pick fours and pick fives and get those big scores so they can throw them up on Twitter and throw them up on Discord and show everybody how good they are at handicapping. A lot of times those win pools get ignored and you can find a lot of overlays these days. And I think there's a ton of efficiency to be found just in playing win bets and things like doubles.
There are a lot of players who I respect a ton who make a good amount of money and only play these three pools. So, and some of the biggest live wagering tournaments only involve these three pools. So, something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is bankroll management, and this is I think we were even talking about this before we started the video, Mark. This is something that I'm really bad at, and there's a couple of points to it. We're going to talk high level here, but mostly don't only play the money that you're comfortable losing. Scared money is already lost. So if you're playing, way too much, like stop it. Secondly, make sure that you're saving your money for your best bets. Don't, if you're going to play for the entire day and you got, I don't know, $50 and it's a 10 race card, don't play $5 every single race. Go ahead and find that spot where you think it's good. Maybe find the horse you like the best. Take half of if you're playing $50, all right, do $2 win bets instead on those 8 or 9 races, and then the race that you feel the most comfortable with, put $25 to win. Heck, if it's 3-1, you might double your money on the entire day, and you got to play the entire day. So I think you kind of explained it a little bit better, Mark.
No, I mean, I think, when you see so many people come into this and they have the idea of, geez, I have $100 budget for, Kentucky Derby Day or Breeders' Cup Saturday or whatever, pick a day. And there's 14 races on the card. Well, I'm going to play $10 exacta boxes. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're going to burn through those really, really quick when you only get, and geez, my best opinion was in the 10th leg, but I'm burning through $20 a race. Well, pretty quickly, you're going to run out of bankroll and you're never going to get to that best opinion. And you end up being the guy that goes to the ATM 3 times during the day to get more money out. Choose, find your best opinions. And quite honestly, as somebody who enjoys handicapping a lot, I will find my 1 or 2 best opinions on a 10 race card. I will play those. And if I want to be bored or if I feel like I'm going to get, tied up or I'm going to get disinterested unless I have some action going on, $2 win bets are super fun. And hey, I have $100 bankroll. Well, $80 is going to go towards a daily double that I love. I'm going to play $2, win bets on the rest of the cart races on the card just for that action factor. And then I'm entertained. Plus, I leveraged up that opinion. I put my money on my best idea.
Yeah, Marshall Graham. If you don't know who he is, he's a pretty prominent horse player. He's on Twitter all the time. He talks a ton. Like, I mean, he bets a lot of money, but he says, like, yeah, I might only make one bet the entire day that I actually want to make. He's like, but you sure the heck know I'm putting $2 to win on every single race. Like, he's like, it just makes it more interesting to have a little bit of money on it. I think another good example or another good way to generate a little bit of action, and it's something that I know you've gotten into a little bit more recently, Mark, is tournaments. You know, you have tournaments that run the entire card, and if you're a beginner, some of them the buy-in is as low as I think like $3. I think there's a couple $3 tournaments, and it's just like, okay, they even give you the PPs, and you can just go ahead and you can play the entire day on $3 just to learn.
Yeah, we had a bunch of people today playing what was it? Belmont was a 10 race card and it was races 3 through 10. And it was a $12 buy in tournament. And I think there was like 50 or 60 people in it. So, if you win it, you get 500 or 600 bucks, which is really pretty phenomenal. And it paid out through 6th or 8th place. So you have a pretty good chance of, if you have a good day, you have a pretty good chance of getting a nice little score. And that's a ton of interest, it's a ton of action. And if you're a newer player, it's a good way to get your feet wet without getting wiped out and not spending a ton.
Number 4 is my favorite. Thinking it's easy. Shit is
Yeah,
hard. Seriously.
So many people come into this and they're like, dude, it's day one. I've never looked at a horse racing. I've never looked at a PP. I don't understand pace. I don't know what any of these wagers are, but I have a $500 budget. I'm going to blow it all and I'm going to make up $1 million. And you're just like, whoa, slow down. You got to be able to walk before you can run. And people don't want to take the time to learn. Horse racing is very different than if you're somebody who's been sports betting. If you're doing sports betting, it's a for most part, it's a binary thing. One team wins or the other team wins. You get a certain amount of one wins, or you have a line, on one way or the other. Horse racing, you can have, in the Kentucky Derby, you can have 20 entrants. It's a very, very complicated world. And the idea that you're going to come in on day one, light it on fire, and just make a ton of money is just not going to happen. Slow it down, take small bites, start off with things like win bets, exactas, daily doubles, start off with the easy things. And if you have a $600 budget, don't blow it all on day one. Say, hey, geez, I have a $600 budget. I want to make that last 3 months. Play small and learn as you go. And then as your opinions get better, you'll learn how to leverage those up and how to really take advantage of them.
Yeah, I was getting a kick out of people coming into the Discord who had never bet before, and they were like, "Hey, I want to build a model," and we're like, "Build a model of what?" It's like, "Oh, picking horse winners." I'm like, "Well, what do you think is like the biggest like how are you gonna find the winners?" They're like, "I don't know. I just want to build a model." It's like, dude, you're sitting here trying to build a computer simulation or computer model, and you don't even like know what a PP is. And then like as you talk, they're like, "Oh, well, like where can I get the data?" And it's like, "Oh, it's $100 a month." What? Like, yeah. I think you said it best. Make sure you can walk before you run.
Yeah, very much so. There's so many people that want to build a model. They want to, oh, I'm just going to data I'm going to just number crunch and I'm going to spit out winners and it's going to be long term profitable. And you're like, do you really think that somebody else hasn't beaten you to that punch and already done that? You think you're going to build a better model than, $1 billion industry with people that have been in it for 30 or 40 years doing that? You're not going to. Take it slow. The money to be made in horse racing is in the nuance. It's in the fact of that, these big data, big, number crunching model people can't make money because you as a small player can say, geez, I know this trainer with this jock at this track with these connections is probably very live, and I'm getting the price I need here for that to be profitable. You may be 3 or 4 layers deep in those connections, and that's where the money's to be made. And that's not something a model can do. So take it small, learn the connections, learn your track, learn how they play, and you can get there.
All right, last one. Bad bet structure. And now this one is it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit with playing too complicated, like playing wagers that are too complicated. But you know, using too many horses in bets are going to cause these things to go up exponentially. You know, for example, a daily double, right? Uh, you might go 3 by 3. That's $9. If you're playing for a buck, and you gotta kind of sit there and you have to, like, I picked daily double because daily double is one of the few bets that you can see the future payout for. So then you got to start doing the math. Oh, well, how do I make this bet and still make money? And then now you have to start weighting bets and stuff like that, doing dutching bets, and it's just like it gets real complicated, especially if you're newer to that. And as the bet gets bigger, it's just going to go up exponentially. If you go 3 by 3 in a pick three that pays, or in a pick three, you're paying 13.50 because you're only playing for 50 cents, and it comes all favorites. Like, what are the chances you even make money on that wager?
Yeah, the one I always laugh at is, and you hung out with me at Saratoga before, and I see this all the time at Saratoga. You get the bros chilling out in the backstretch, and the race goes off and it finishes, and you hear somebody, "Oh yeah, I hit that exacta, and man, oh that's awesome!" And you're like, well, "What'd you hit?" And they're like, "Oh well, I had the exacta." I'm like, well, And the thing you don't think in your head is, what did it cost you? And you ask them like, oh well, I had a 6 horse exacta box, and you're like, so you spent $56 to make $8. That's not a profitable wager. And I mean, we pick on Mario too much, but there's a certain thing of, you have to handicap the card you have, not the card you want. So people get into this game of being like, oh, I want to wish this horse to win, or I want to will this horse to win, and the favorite wins roughly 1/3 of the time. So people oftentimes approach a ticket and they think, geez, I like these 6 horses in this race, and these 4 horses in this race, and these 3 horses in the next race. All of a sudden they're playing $150 pick three, and it pays $10, and then they go, well, how did that happen? I had all the winners. You got to keep it simple until you really understand what a type of bet or what a type of structure is going to pay. Slow it down, and don't overthink things.
I mean, like I kind of have a like a rule in my head, specifically with something like a double, where I never go more than 1 by 3. I go either 2 by 2 or 1 by 3. If I can't narrow one leg down to a single, or I can't narrow both the legs down to 2 horses, like I just don't play it. Now there's always exceptions, right? If we're talking, Kentucky Downs, and it's 12 or 14 horses, in all the races. Okay, you can spread a little more, but it's because the payout's going to be worth it. But in general, like if you're sitting here playing Belmont and it's 2 6 horse fields, and you're playing a 3 by 3 double, or you're playing going 3 wide and pick threes, like you gotta think about what the payout could possibly be. Um, you always want to go as narrow as you possibly can. Now, obviously, the most narrow you can go is single, 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 or what have you, but within reason. So don't Mario a ticket. Don't spray and pray constantly. There are cases to be made of certain spots to spray and pray, but if you are brand new to the game, you do not know when a good time to spray and pray is, and spray and praying does not involve including the favorite in every leg.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always have a rule personally, and obviously I'm a big horizontal player, so I play a lot of pick threes, pick fours, pick fives. If I don't have, and I'm an ABC type player, so I play multiple tickets. It's not uncommon for me to play a pick five where I play 20 or 30 tickets. If I do not have a strong opinion in at least one leg, where I feel in like a pick three, a pick four, a pick five, where I feel like I can be single or almost single, I just don't play the sequence, because I feel like I am just inherently too spread out. If you are a newer player, the tendency is, oh, I want all this coverage, all these horses that could win. And you end up so diluting your payout that you end up long term losing money. And actually, shouldn't say even long term, very quickly you'll lose your money. So when you look at a sequence, it's okay to be wrong a lot of the times, but when you're right, be highly profitable. It's much better to be that way than to be somebody who's right a lot of the times, but you basically just barely break even or lose money longer term.
I know. I always tell people that my most profitable wager is a pick four, and everyone's like, "Really?" It's like, you must play a ton of them. It's like, no, I don't. Like, I only play the pick four if I have a dead single that I know I want to single, and that doesn't happen for me very often. I mean, my strike rate on pick fours is probably close to like 20%, maybe 25%, and the ones I've hit have paid, but I don't play it all the time. And this is kind of like, this bad Brett structure kind of goes together with bankroll management. Okay, if you take half your bankroll and you really like this horse, right? And you have 50 or 75% of your bankroll to get to that horse. It doesn't mean you have to bet it to win. Okay, you have $100, you're using $75 to that horse. Play a $25 double to the horse. Play 25 to win. Spend $25 on a pick three. Now you're covered multiple ways to get to that horse. It doesn't mean, hey, just use all that money for that one horse that way, but leverage that opinion. And I think that kind of, like I said, that structuring goes hand in hand a bit with bankroll management. And maybe at this point, we're starting to get a little bit more advanced than just the regular beginner. But this is just kind of stuff that we think about, when you make a bet. One of the guys from In the Money, Jonathan Kinchin, always talks about, he used to take an hour to handicap, and 10 minutes to structure his wagers, and now he's the opposite. He'll take 10 minutes to handicap, and he'll spend an hour structuring his wagers, and you know structuring the wager is as important, if not more important, than handicapping.
Yeah, I'd say one thing, we always, I think we've talked about Kentucky Oaks in 2019, because both of us had very, very good days on that. If you look at that pick four you hit that paid four figures, you weren't complicated there. You had a single in the two middle legs. You had the first leg, you used the favorite and a price you liked. And in the last leg, you had a favorite and a price you liked. Both prices that you liked happened to win, and you get hit a what? A $2,500 pick four. That's a pretty cheap wager to play. You had opinions, you had very good structure on, and you were smart about it. You didn't try to go, oh, these 10 horses could win this first leg and these 10 horses could win this second leg, where all of a sudden you would have diluted that wager out. You were very smart and very aggressive to your opinions. I think something that new horse players have a hard time with is they are often very uncomfortable being wrong. You're going to be wrong a lot. And it's actually really good to be wrong a lot, because if you're wrong a lot but you're leveraging your opinions, it means that when you're right, the payouts are massive. And when you're wrong, I know Josh is an example of this. He's always playing these. He's got a 10 to 1. He'll play a daily double with a 10 to 1 over a 10 to 1. The first leg, the horse is 10 to 1. The second leg, the horse is 10 to 1. If it hits, he gets $1,000. But he's wrong 95% of the time. But he's actually profitable long-term playing that, because when he is right, it outweighs all of those losses along the way. You have to be pretty comfortable being wrong a lot. And then when you are right, it really pays.
Yeah, I think I hit like one $4 daily double at Kentucky Downs that made my entire month profitable. So it's just like, yeah, I missed almost everything else the rest of the month. I lost a ton on Kentucky Derby Day, but hey, I was right that one time, and it paid well. So I think that's going to do it for us, Mark. If you guys got any questions, hit us up on Twitter at wrong_lead, or hit us up in the Discord. And until next time, we will see you guys later.